everybody? It's JT Sports here with my 2019 NFL predictions for the Atlanta Falcons, going week by week, predicting the Atlanta Falcons 2019 record for the 2019 NFL season. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, last season they didn't make it to the playoffs, but I believe it was a good thing. They were already a pretty talented team. They suffered a lot of injuries, and now you look at that, and now they're even a better team than what they were last season because of the high draft picks they were able to get in this year's draft. So they were already a pretty talented team. And now they're an even more talented team than what they already were before. So that's a scary aspect. And this team could very well. This is a dark horse Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. Despite how talented they are, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons. They can really easily make it to the Super Bowl. They are one of the most talented teams in all of football. So this Atlanta Falcons team is really, really scary. So week one, they played the Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota. Both of these teams are really talented, but I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this matchup. As we know, Kirk Cousins, when it comes to games like this, he never shows up, and this is going to be another example of that. Minnesota's defense is going to keep them around for a couple of quarters, and ultimately the Atlanta Falcons are going to end up pulling away with this victory. Week two, they play the Philadelphia Eagles at home. I believe this is a Sunday night matchup. The Eagles last season suffered a bunch of injuries to their secondary. The Atlanta Falcons suffered a bunch of injuries to their team as a whole. But the Philadelphia Eagles found a way to make it to the playoffs. So the Atlanta Falcons, they couldn't quite do that. But this is an interesting game because these are two of the most talented teams in the NFC. This could be a NFC, championship game preview or whatnot because both of these teams are really, really talented. Two out of the four most talented teams in the NFC. And, this is going to be a very good matchup. It can go either way. You can literally flip a coin and decide who's going to win this matchup. But I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win. I think because the Atlanta Falcons are at home, that will be the difference. And that's why I'm going to choose the Atlanta Falcons. Before I go on to the week 3 game versus the Indianapolis Colts, I want to ask you guys to please like the video and share the video on your social media pages or with your friends or acquaintances, as it helps the channel grow. Spread the word about the channel, as I do make my living on here, so you know. So also make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. I upload NFL videos and college football videos daily, so make sure to subscribe. So week 3, the Atlanta Falcons are playing the Indianapolis Colts at Indianapolis. This game, the Indianapolis Colts aren't as talented as the Atlanta Falcons on paper, but this game is going to be a lot closer than what many people may think. And I think the Indianapolis Colts could end up winning this game, but I'm just going to go with the Atlanta Falcons winning this game. I think the Atlanta Falcons go 3-0, and I think their defense is going to be the difference. The Indianapolis Colts defense is a little bit improved. It's not bad, but it's average. I think the Atlanta Falcons defense is going to force a couple of turnovers that are going to affect the outcome of this game, and that's why I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win. The Atlanta Falcons, week 4, they play the Tennessee Titans at home. Now, this is a game that's going to be a lot closer than what people predict because the Tennessee Titans on paper, they don't look like a roster that, should give the Atlanta Falcons fans any problems or any worry. But, if there's a game that the Atlanta Falcons should be worried about early on this season, it should be the Tennessee Titans because this Tennessee Titans team is very scrappy. And although they don't have, the most talented roster, they always find ways to win. And that is a very good trait, not having the most talented team, but finding ways to win. And we've seen the Tennessee Titans pull up a lot of upsets over the last couple of seasons. Last season, they put up that big upset against the New England Patriots. So, this game could pretty much end up being an upset for the Atlanta Falcons, but I don't think it will be. I think this game will be close. I think it could be a one-score game. It could be a 1-point win for the Atlanta Falcons, but this game is going to be a lot close than what people may expect. And I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win. I'm not going to say they're going to be the more talented team. I just think they're going to win this game because it is at home. So, they have that aspect, that element of it. And I think, up front, their Atlanta Falcons offensive line should be able to handle the Tennessee Titans defensive line, which is pretty good. And it's a very underrated group that the Tennessee Titans have on that defensive line. So this game could be an upset waiting to happen for the Atlanta Falcons, but I think Atlanta finds a way to win this game. It's going to be a lot closer than what Atlanta Falcons fans will like, but they are going to win this game. Week 5, they play their third straight AFC South opponent, and they're playing the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans defense isn't going to really do a lot. Well, when it comes in terms of their secondary, we know how good J.J. Warren, Jadeveon Clowney is, but this is going to be a pretty high scoring game. I think it's going to be pretty back and forth. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans to win this game. Atlanta suffers their first loss of the season. I think this is going to be a matchup that's going to be decided of who gets the ball last. And I think Houston is going to be able to get the ball last. They're going to be able to win this game. I think this is a game that can go either way, but I think Houston is going to be able to win this game. And it probably would be considered an upset, but I think Houston wins this game. Is on the road, and Houston's going to have a very hard to stop offense with Will Fuller coming back, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kiki QT there, who was a pretty good slot receiver in his rookie season. So this game that can go either way, but I think Atlanta takes a loss here to Houston. Week 6, they play the Arizona Cardinals at Arizona. A lot of people are overrating the Cardinals just because, new offense, Cliff Kingsbury, you don't really know what to expect. It's a bunch of air raid concepts that get ran on a week to week basis in the NFL. So the air raid isn't really going to be anything new. It's just that the college version of it is going to be new, but it's already a lot of air raid concepts. So Atlanta's going to win this game pretty easily. Should be by 2 or more scores, but Arizona, the unpredictability, I understand that, but Dan Quinn, the way that this defense is set up is geared towards offenses like this. You got Deion Jones who can cover, also a very good tackler, also very good in coverage. So, this is a very hybrid team that the Atlanta Falcons have. So I don't see them losing to Arizona, and I don't even think this game is going to be close. Week 7, they played the Los Angeles Rams. I had them taking a loss here, their second loss of this year's NFL season. This game could go either way. It's at home for Atlanta. This is going to be a really good matchup. Dan Quinn versus Sean McVay. I think the LA Rams are going to have the upper hand in this matchup. I think their offense is going to be the difference. I think they're going to be able to put up a lot of points, and so is Atlanta. So this is going to be a very high scoring game. This game can go either way, but I'm just going to choose the Los Angeles Rams. Week 8, they play the Seattle Seahawks. I have them winning that matchup. I like the Seattle Seahawks a lot. I just don't think they're as good as the Atlanta Falcons. But the Seattle Seahawks, just like the Tennessee Titans, they have a way of finding ways to win games that they have no business winning. And they do also have Russell Wilson, who is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. So with him, they're always going to be competitive. And this game could go either way as well. I think Atlanta is going to win this matchup because they are the better team. So they have a bye week 9, before they go on the road to face the New Orleans Saints. It's always tough trying to beat New Orleans at New Orleans. It's a very loud place to play in, very hard to hear, and this is, the Atlanta Falcons' first divisional matchup, and this is actually pretty tough to be trying to play any team in this division later on in the season. So the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints are the 2 best teams in this division. These 2 teams could potentially be playing for a first round bye. So this is always a very big matchup when you got 2 of the most talented teams in the conference as a whole, not just their division, but as a conference as a whole. So these 2 teams are going to be jockeying for a playoff bye. So this is a big game. I think New Orleans Saints win this matchup because it's at home. New Orleans, their offense is going to put up a lot of points. So is Atlanta. This is going to be a shootout. But I just think New Orleans wins this game, and because it's going to be at home. Then the Atlanta Falcons, they travel to face the Carolina Panthers at home. I believe they're going to win this game. Carolina secondary, I have my questions and concerns about, and I think Atlanta is going to be able to win this matchup first go around. Week 12, they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people are high on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am as well. But, I just can't see them, making it to the playoffs because of how terrible their defense looks on paper. And I don't even think their defense is going to be even good at all, really. It's going to be one of the worst in the NFL this year. And they're pretty much going to have to outscore their opponents, basically the same way Kansas City had to do last season. So it's going to be a back and forth matchup, but Atlanta should be able to win this game. Week 13, they play the New Orleans Saints again. Thursday night matchup. I have them winning this matchup. New Orleans isn't going to sweep Atlanta. These teams are really talented. And I think, Atlanta, they might not win this division, I think New Orleans most likely is my favorite to win this division. But, Atlanta is a very, very talented team, one of the most talented teams in all the NFL. But I just can't see New Orleans sweeping them. So I think at this point in the season, New Orleans, they lose this game. They're basically tied for who's going to win this division at this point. Week 14, they play the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers, they could most likely get swept by the Atlanta Falcons, but I think the Carolina Panthers, with Ron Rivera and stuff like that, they find ways to, get a little bit of lucky. I think they steal this game here. It's going to be a close game, and I think they find a way to win this game, and they're still this game at Atlanta. Week 15, they're playing the San Francisco 49ers, having to win in that matchup. San Francisco, their defensive line is going to pose some problems for the Atlanta Falcons in terms of how they're going to be able to get after the passer. But Atlanta is a better team, and they should be able to have success running the ball on the San Francisco 49ers team, which I think is their weakness. Week 16, they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is another game that's going to be really, really close because how good the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is. So I'm not expecting a lot of scoring, but I'm going to give Atlanta the upper hand because I just don't think Atlanta's going to put up some points, but I just don't think it's going to be a matchup that favors the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are a team that favors matchups like this, but the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, I just don't think they're going to be able to, put up the same amount of points or a little bit amount of points that they have to and able to win this game due to their wide receiving core being very young and developed. So had the Atlanta Falcons winning this game. The last game of the season, I had them sweeping Tampa. I just don't think Tampa's defense is going to be able to get key stops for this Atlanta Falcons team. So the record I have for the Atlanta Falcons this year is 12-4. They should be competing for a first round bye, but I don't think they'll win the division, which is why I have them going into the wild card matchup. But they could get a first round bye week, but this is still a very, very good Atlanta Falcons team. I am expecting them to make a very deep run into the playoffs this season, And let me know what you guys think about this prediction down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.